Hi everyone, how are you doing? Well, I was going to talk to you about some movies I've been watching on YouTube. They have some really good movies. Some are Lifetime, some are actually Hallmark. I don't know how they do Hallmarks for free on YouTube, but they do. I know Christmas time they have them, but these aren't Christmas ones. And there's another one, and those ones are kind of thrillers. I can't remember what company or whatever. I don't know what it is. But yesterday, which will be my tomorrow and your yesterday. I never know how to say that. So when you watch this, it will be what I'm talking about that happened today, but you'll see it tomorrow. Okay, I got it right. So anyhow, there are 3 movies I watched today. They're not very long. Well, they're just like a regular movie, I guess. Hour and a half or something. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure they were all Hallmark for some reason. I was really surprised that they were Hallmark, but they were, and it's just on YouTube. But all 3 of them were about single moms with one child, and they all had exes that didn't want anything to do with their kids. Kid, as plural as in all 3 kids, you know what I mean? And I was really surprised. But of course, unlike real life, they all had happy endings. I don't remember the first one at all. I should have taken some notes, like clip notes, make up my own clip notes. The second one, I faintly remember it. Oh, the allergies. What was it about? Nope, don't remember. But the third one really stuck with me. So it was about, well, it started with a factory, people working in a factory, and a woman was real excited because she was saving up money to buy a house. I guess her and her child, I think it was a daughter, got a little, like a caddy shack, something really little to live in after, she was divorced, and the guy left and had nothing to do with the child. So then, one day the owner of the company was just walking through the place. I don't know why. I'm not a good storyteller about movies, I guess. But anyhow, what happened was the owner was going to sell the business. So he had a partner. I don't know if it was his friend, his buddy, but he was the one who did the work. The owner was like a typical rich guy who lived in a beautiful house. You know, someone you see wearing a silk bathrobe. Well, he didn't wear that, but you know, you get my drift. So anyhow, so his right-hand man said, oh, by the way, the guy who's coming, so he was coming from another country, which a lot of businesses, I know some around here local, are run by people in other countries. Not good at all, but it is what it is. So anyhow, the guy was coming to sign the contracts here. So then his right-hand man said, why don't you have him stay at your place? And he says, okay, fine. And then he says, by the way, he can't wait to meet your family. And I guess, I don't know if the guy's parents were deceased or he had nothing to do with them. He's like, family, what are you talking about? So he must have understood like family, like a married man. He says, I don't have a family. Yeah, you do. You have a wife and child. He says, no, I don't. So anyhow, they were interviewing people to play the role, actors, for wife and child. So they showed the beginning scene of that was this very bratty, snotty woman with the kid was even brattier than the mother. And they were kind of like gave them a script, I think. I don't remember. And the kid said, oh, I would like, I don't know, an airplane for my birthday or something, you know. And the guy says, are you kidding me? He says, well, I'm acting like a rich, spoiled rich kid. So the rich guy said, get him out of here. So then they were just in his house, beautiful house. I mean, unbelievably beautiful. So this one woman and her child were driving in the car. Oh yeah, she picked her up from the babysitters, and they were on their way home. And I think they were at a light or something, and the little girl says, my dollhouse, my dollhouse. I guess she had dreamed of about a beautiful dollhouse she wanted. And this house, the house that this guy lived in, was the dollhouse. So she jumped out of the car when they were at the red light. And so the woman parked. It couldn't have been a busy street because they could park on the street. But that's like little material that you didn't really need to know, but what the heck. So anyhow, the girl runs up. The door happened to be open. She runs in, and she's like in amazement, like a little girl. Imagine being a little girl in amazement, like this is her real dollhouse, but it's big and it's real. And oh yeah, her babysitter had told her, because she was telling her how much she missed her father, and the babysitter said, well, look for signs, look for angels here on earth. Angels here on earth wear their wings on the inside, not on the outside. And whenever you hear a noise somewhere where there shouldn't be one, you know there's an angel close by. I've never heard that, have you? I don't know if they just made it up or if it's a thing that people say. But anyhow, so when she got in there, she heard a noise. And so then mom comes in and says, oh, I forgot the girl's name. She's calling her. She says, come here, come here. You can't just go into someone's house. And then I guess she noticed the mom, that this was the owner of the company from that day that I said the owner came in. And so she says, oh, I'm sorry. And I don't remember that part. I'm bad at telling stories back, I guess. Somehow she said, you're so-and-so and I work for you. And so, of course, his right-hand man saw that she was very plain and the daughter was like full of excitement. And so he said, just a second. Then he talked to the rich man. I don't know their names. Didn't pay attention to the names. And so he's like, are you kidding? No, blah, blah, blah. I guess he wanted, a real fancy girl, whatever. And he says, no, they're perfect for the part. Like really like a homey kind of, someone that would seem realistic. So then he talked to her, and first she says no, she's not doing it. And then she was talked into it. He was going to pay her $1,000, and it was going to be for 3 days. So she would pretend to be his wife, and the girl would pretend to be the daughter. So I'm thinking, as hard up as I am for money, I wouldn't sell ourselves for that to make money, which to her, she needed money. So I couldn't imagine doing that. But, when you hear the story, the end, well, I won't tell you the title, so I won't ruin it for you. Well, I don't know. I guess I will ruin it. Well, I'm going to just tell you the whole story. So anyhow, I don't know if I'd do that, as hard up as I am for money. Because of why? Because of the deadbeat dad, just like in the story. And it was like someone is speaking to me through these movies. Because it was like watching my life, but not really, not at the end, because they all got happy endings. But anyhow, so she said, 200. No, the right-hand man said 200, and then the lady said 300, and the rich guy said, are you kidding? She says, okay, guess you don't need a family that bad. She starts walking away. Okay, fine. So anyhow, the guy was coming for probably Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So they came in, and, they had to practice, like, how long were they married? What's their favorite meal or favorite place to eat? Something like that. So anyhow, she was, very plain, kind of plain Jane, single mom. That's how you are. If you notice me, I don't have a lot of clothes, because I'm home, and, my life is the way it is. Just because his other parent has everything, it doesn't mean that I'm allowed to have anything. So, but, so again, same story. The guy had nothing to do with his child. So then, of course, because this guy was very well-to-do, the woman dressed up in, elegant, like someone who'd, entertain all the time. And so she said, oh, it was Christmas time, and she says, your tree doesn't look very homey. He said, it was oh yeah, she said, it must have been decorated professionally. And he said, of course it was. And then she says, you don't have no toys around. It doesn't look lived in. It doesn't look like you live here. It looks like no one lives here. It's sort of like a museum. And so she put her own touches on. So she made up the mantle all real nice, like, like someone lives there. And the tree that was so kiffered. I know. When women went to a hairdresser, I remember reading a story long ago. It was kiffered, with a C. I don't know. Your hair is kiffered. I don't know. Forget it. Anyhow, so she put like apples on the tree and, kind of stuff that normal people would do, not rich people. So she made it very homey. So the guy was coming, I want to say from Puerto Rico or Dominican Republic or something like that. So then, I don't know how they convinced the girl. I want to say she was about 7. No, 5, 6, or 7. So anyhow, she got all dressed all fancy and all. So they didn't show any parts of how they were training the girl. So anyhow, the guy came in and met them and everything. And it just seemed like he knew something. He knew something wasn't right. Like they weren't fooling him. That's what I got the impression. So anyhow, he came, and then they had dinner and all, and there's the table. Oh yeah, a little backstory on the girl. Right before this happened, oh yeah, the mom got a call at work. She had to leave early because they called something about her kid, so she went there, and her kid made up some story and was a troublemaker and blah, blah, blah. So she liked to make up stories, so remember that part. Okay, so there's the table, and the businessman says, so how did you two meet? And so the rich guy says to his fake wife, oh, why don't you tell him, dear? And she says, oh no, you tell it much better. And then the girl says, well, I'll tell it. And then she looks like, oh dear, the mom, who knows what's going to come out of her mouth. But it was a very interesting story, but yet not believable. And again, the guy it felt like all through the movie, he knew the guy was faking, that he really didn't have a family. Oh yeah, when he came in, when they introduced the family, he said, I thought you had a son. And then the mother said, oh, she's such a tomboy. So she covered. And then the right-hand man said, oh God, hold on. Okay, I don't know where I was. There was a huge ant crawling on my phone. Oh my God, I freaked. Oh, and I couldn't catch it. I don't know where it is. Anyhow, I forgot where I was in the story. See, if you have a video camera, you can go back and see where you were. So I don't know where I was. Oh Lord, where was I in the story?